this news broke about an hour ago, I'd say. Jared McCain, shooting guard for Duke, announced that he's going pro. He announced it on his social media. So people were like, sources, source him, is Jared McCain himself. This is of no shock to me that Jared McCain going to the NBA. Projected by many of the quote-unquote experts, the draft guys for the NBA, to be drafted in the first round. Some people have him going in the 20s. Some people maybe have him going like 18 or 19, just kind of depending on how the draft board falls out. And then there's obviously like the NBA is so weird with like, oh, well, this pick's this protected and, we could do pick swaps and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, he's projected to be a first-round draft pick pretty solidly with that. Go for it. Your first-round pick coming after your freshman year of college, go for it. It's guaranteed money right there. Now, I'm sure if he came back to Duke with name, image, and likeness, the guy would make a bucket of money.
Yeah.
Or buckets of money. That's a guaranteed contract in the NBA. And that's future long-term money that you can get. So you know what? I don't blame the guy for going. My guess, in the next few days, maybe even today possibly, we'll hear Kyle Filipowski announce his intentions on going to the NBA draft. I'm sure we'll hear that in the near future. That's just my anticipation. I don't have any inside information on that. But
just an instinct.
Well, the guy's been projected to be a lottery pick, somewhere in like 10 to 13, 14 range in the NBA draft like the last 2 years. Kind of hard to turn down that money again.
Yeah, it would be.
Kind of hard to turn down that money again. So I anticipate Kyle Filipowski. We'll hear that announcement sometime in the very near future. But one person of note when it comes to Duke basketball that's coming back, it's Tyrese Proctor. He's going to be a junior next season, also a guard. This is massive for Jon Scheyer and Duke program, in my opinion, because there is a case where Scheyer could lose his whole starting five. Mm-hmm. The whole thing. We've heard Mark Mitchell's going into the transfer portal, Jared McCain going into the NBA. Jeremy Roach even flirted with the possibility of going to the NBA after last season. Now, he still has a year of eligibility left. What does he decide to do with that fifth year? Does he go pro? Does he come back to Duke? Does he go to the transfer portal? The young man has a lot of different options. If he stays at Duke, he could make a lot of money with name, image, and likeness. That's always something that could potentially keep him around. He can go to another program if he wants to. I'm sure he can make a lot of money doing that as well. I don't know what his NBA prospects are just because he's played 4 years of college, and generally the NBA doesn't like quote-unquote older guys. It's a weird thing, but it is what it is. But also, if Tyrese Proctor had decided to go pro or transfer, there's a lot of possibility of him actually going to the NBA after last season because a lot of people projected him to be a first-round pick. Had a bit of a down season, dealt with the ankle sprain and injury and such. So some up and down play for Tyrese Proctor this year. But you're looking at a possibility of your starting five gone.
I know.
For Duke.
Starting from scratch.
Yeah.
What a rebuild.
A lot of young guys coming in. But if Roach returns, again, no inside information, just going off my instinct. Jeremy Roach returns. You already know that Tyrese Proctor announced that he's coming back to Duke. And assuming Caleb Foster also returns, he just finished his freshman year, had a stress fracture in his ankle, missed the last several games of the season, including the NCAA tournament. Assuming those three guys, all guys in the backcourt, all return, that's a lot of experience that's much needed for a team that has a big-time recruiting class coming in where they can shepherd in the youth, right? Because you still have guys that were just finished their freshman year that didn't get a lot of playing time. I'm talking guys like Sean Stewart, TJ Power. These guys were 5-star recruits, and you're bringing in the number one recruiting class in the country. You got to have some experience on the floor with them. And if you could have two guys in your backcourt with Roach and Proctor who are going to be 3+ years in your program, 3+ years of competitive college basketball experience, not just 3 years of just getting 5-6 minutes a game, like actual starter minutes that played in the NCAA tournament, that have played in big games. Jeremy Roach played in the NCAA Final Four just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
The team that had Paolo Banchero and some of those guys. That experience is going to matter because my biggest thing for Duke this past season was they were just younger than everyone else. It's not like they weren't talented, but North Carolina had an older team. NC State had an older team. Yeah. Duke had a lot of freshmen and sophomores this past season.
Continuity.
They were super young.
Yeah, continuity and, experience is definitely valuable.
It's experience, but it's also experience within the program. The way Jon Scheyer is building his team, we're going to get more into this at about 1:15 today. But one thing that Jon Scheyer is doing, the way that he is building his team, he's building it through recruiting and building from within. He's not like what NC State has done, which is transfer portal U, which is the complete opposite, basically. And also you look at what North Carolina has done, which is basically like a blend of the two, where you have your homegrown talent, you're supplementing through the transfer portal. The way Jon Scheyer is doing it, it's all growing from within. He's doing the quote-unquote, it's weird to say the old school way, the way teams used to do it, 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way he's building his team. But to have Proctor come back is massive. If Roach comes back too, now you have an experienced backcourt to go with all those wing players that they're bringing in, including Cooper Flagg, who's the number 1 recruit in the country and already projected to be the number 1 pick in next year's draft in 2025. But you got to have some level of experience to teach these guys not only what to do on the court in college basketball, but also just, again, the culture of your team. Where to go and practice. Hey, this is the drill we're doing, young man. Go over here.
Mm-hmm.
Those kinds of things absolutely matter.